Hello, everyone, and welcome to my live reading. This is Dave Johnson with Moonride. Today, we're channeling the man on the moon. So, a little bit of a wacky morning here. They're going to mow right in front of me or behind me, I'm sure, some point during this reading. So, if I have to move, you're just going to move with me. A couple of questions. Hi, Sue Ellen. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Rosie. How are you guys? So, we have just a few questions this morning. One of them is from, let's see, it's from Robin, and it's about people supporting Biden, specifically African Americans supporting Biden. So they want to know kind of why and if African Americans will support Biden in the next election. Let's see, and whether this will change. So, Spirit, can you tell me about Biden? Oh, you know what? I always forget this. My microphone, right? People on tablets, because otherwise it gets screechy. All right, let's go ahead and see. Tell me about Biden, Spirit. You know, the first instinct I get, one thing about Biden that African Americans like is that he is predictable, that they know at least what they are getting. They know what they will do. You know, I'm sure a lot of African Americans experience, people who say, oh, yeah, I'm not bigoted at all. I'm totally for this, Black American experience. Oh, yeah, yeah. But that's not how they really are. So at least Biden has a track record. We do know at least that he is not, straight up a bigot. So I think that's one thing it's just a measure of control that African Americans are liking with Biden. So, Spirit, are they going to change? Are African American people going to start supporting anybody else, or? Okay, it's really interesting because I'm seeing Biden speak like in a really large auditorium, and he's speaking to them. Oh, it's really cool the way Spirit is showing me this. So the auditorium has 4 sections. Section 1 has changed. So, maybe 1/3 of the people, actually, it's actually looking like a little bit more, maybe even something like half, seem to be disappearing from the Biden camp. So I wonder if over time, it appears to me that over time, he will not have as many supporters if he does. Some people will remain loyal, maybe about a little bit more than 1/3 African Americans will remain loyal to him. But I think others are going to, really just take a look at candidates and see how they show up. Okay. I personally, I like Harris in this regard. She's not as progressive as I like, but I like the way that she is assertive. To be perfectly honest, I like the way that all the African American senators are really assertive. I want all those people on my team. They're just so tough. You just see. I'm forgetting some of their names here, but you just watch them give their questions when they're interrogating somebody in the Senate. You don't mess with Sheila Jackson. She's just like, yes ma'am, no ma'am. I would do what she says. And let me tell you, if I were president, she'd be like right on the side of me. I'd be like, yeah, okay, how can you help? Because she is so on it. Cummings, all these guys are really, really awesome. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting question, like why choose Biden? But I think it's just safety. You know what he thinks. He's not an unknown quantity. Elizabeth Warren may be new and she might be spitting more fire and you might kind of like her better. But I think the average person, they don't know her. They don't know what she's going to do. You have to, really look at somebody for a long time before you really can predict how they're going to help your people, right? Whatever color they are, you need to know that. So I understand exactly why people are doing this. Is there anything more on Biden that we need to know? So, Spirit, I'm just asking for myself, is there anything that will specifically derail Biden? He's kind of saying, nah, it's just, but you know what he does? He looks kind of boring. When he does this, it's just, yeah, nothing special. It's going to derail me. But it's not inspiring me as I see him. I don't want to go vote for him. I don't really know what he stands for. I just know that he is sort of a light version of the Democratic Party. And so some people I think just see him as a practical choice, which is another thing that African Americans might just be registering. Like, look, he's the practical choice to beat Trump. We got to beat this evil man. Otherwise, these horrible racist attacks will happen. Anything to get rid of that guy. I'd vote for Rumpelstiltskin right now to get rid of Trump. I mean, you could vote for anyone, and they would be better for Trump. So I think that I do understand where people are coming from. So hi, you guys. Hi. Oh yeah, some people was talking about Epstein. These are some good questions. So let's take a look at the next one. Beto O'Rourke. This is from Douglas, and he's asking about Beto O'Rourke. And right now he's down with the down in El Paso trying to console the victims of these horrific crimes. So the question really is like, is this gonna help him? Is it gonna do any better? Will it propel him maybe to a cabinet position? Is the question here. Okay, I see Beto. You know what I like about what I'm seeing? He really does have sympathy. Like, as I see him, he looks sad. He looks kind of heartbroken. And that's like really just, hey, he's not just a politician. He actually is a human that has feelings. What a relief would that be, Mhm. Let's tell me more about Beto. What can we know about Beto O'Rourke? I think, okay, this is what I see. He's smoking a cigarette and he puts it out. So, no offense to smokers out there, but I think this is symbolic of just, sort of counterproductive behaviors. Like he maybe went off in the wrong direction. We all tried a cigarette, right? When we were 15 or something like that. It's almost like bad direction. And now he's done with that. And he's going to get to the point of why he did what he did, why he ran. And that's really pretty awesome in a sense of now he is doing it for the people. He's not doing it for some poll numbers. He seems like he's really there. And I do feel like it will broaden his support, broaden his base. Show me more about Beto. Okay, he's broadening the base. I see a seat for him. So something is going to show up for him in terms of some political position. Yeah, and it's a chair that's like got a very high back. It's almost like throne looking. So there's some position for him. I'm getting governor. I think there's something going on in that direction. He seems to be learning, which is again, really important. There's these young politicians who seem to have all the energy and ideas, but they're nowhere near positions of power. And this one, he looks like he's in a position of power. He looks like a governor. But this could be something else. I don't think that it's presidency, but it could easily be governor. And sadly, I do see more shooters. That's what I keep getting. And I wonder if that's just in relationship to Beto. One thing that's also good, I feel like Beto is going to force a lot of people to stay on this issue. I think he has made the decision in his mind that it doesn't matter about the presidency anymore. It doesn't matter about a cabinet position. I need to stay on this issue because it's important for people. And that's where he is. It's almost like he's the leader. I don't necessarily see mass shootings, but he is the leader of this sort of movement. He keeps people focused, and he's sort of understood that that's his real role. is to stop the killing. Okay, anything else about Beto? Things are looking up for him in some situations. I feel that he is sad, but I feel like there's a little bit more happiness on the horizon. It feels just like the kind of sad happiness that you get recognized for, telling a truth many people don't want to see. Great. So again, I do see a spot for him. Not sure which spot it would be. It could be in the cabinet, but it gives. I hear the word governor, so I'm not sure how many years away that is. Do you want to tell me, Spirit? 2, 4, 6, something like that. Which one is it? 3.5. I get like in 3.5 years. Maybe that's when the governorship goes up again. That's kind of my guess right now. Here's a really good question, and that is from Michelle. Michelle just wants to talk about the nature of good and evil. And I think it's a really good question. We're living in a time of a lot of darkness, and it's kind of hard to take. I know a lot of people, especially sensitive people, you and me, everybody, just regular people out there who are telling me, oh my God, I'm feeling really worked over. I feel really tired all the time. I feel kind of hopeless sometimes. And it's just watching this stuff. It's just taking your energy. It's taken a lot away from your, just basic, normal, good, healthy day. So let's take a look at good and evil. All right. So Spirit, what about this? Why does this evil exist? Yeah, and I get kind of what I expected. Contrast. We would not have good without evil. Yeah, that's sort of the old philosophical response. I hope it doesn't ring too hollow for you. It just seems like, yeah, well, how much evil do we have to have before we get to the good part? What's up? But that's the question really is the stronger the evil, the more your difficult actions and response are important, the more that they create you to be a good person in response to this. One thing I want everybody to consider is, lots of the readers that you see, we really wouldn't have a job without Trump. And I'm not justifying Trump's experience just so that it can, pay me. It really is just this movement of people who care enough. All those, readers that you see, I've met so many of them, and they really are, just really amazing people. They really are there. Not just to make a living, you could make a better living doing something else, to be honest. But really, they're there to do the right thing. They've just been called to do this. So think about that for yourself. It doesn't matter whether you're famous or not. To what degree have you been called to do good things, to react to evil? Those are really important to notice, even if it's a very small thing. Let's tell me more about this good and evil. Well, here's the real philosophical question. If there's good and there's evil, what's the ultimate source, right? What is the ultimate source of all these things? How can we have these two things? Where does it come from? And if the source of both of those things is not a good one, then it's kind of like what kind of universe are we living in when it just perpetuates good and evil? Why? And that's the question. The source is good, but it's very complicated. It's too sophisticated for humans to truly understand. Don't feel bad if you can't get your head wrapped around this idea, because it is so far beyond our understanding as to be useless to explain, except to say, like, look at the symbol of the Tao. You have dark with a spot of white, and then you have white with a spot of dark. That's the nature of the universe. Also notice that within good, there might be a little bit of evil. We all do dark things, even if we're good people. And one of the things that the darkness lets us know is, hey, you better take a closer look at yourself. If you are not, if you're not, all of us are going to make mistakes and do wrong things and stuff like that. But the darkness makes us reflect upon ourselves and see what darkness is in ourselves. This does not mean that you should beat yourself up every day, but it keeps you in check. You sit there and go, well, I can't do that. I can't sit here and criticize, my politics if I'm not doing the same thing. I notice in our time, a lot of people are saying, you did this, the government did this, Hillary Clinton did this, da 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 da. Well, where's that question about what you are doing? Kennedy said, don't ask what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. These are good questions. Americans have just been sitting around like they're at a restaurant waiting to be served. What are you going to serve up there? Oh, it's not good enough. Or like that person, I used to work in a restaurant, and you always had these people that were constantly complaining, oh, the air conditioning is blowing on me. Can you turn the air conditioning off? So, they don't care about anybody else in the restaurant or me who's working in the restaurant. It's about me. The air is blowing on me, right? So, you have to ask this question, what are you doing? And that doesn't have to be, oh, I'm, 6 hours a day in the trenches. What are we doing? What are each person doing to make our society better? That could just be, being a better friend or being a better lover or, volunteering once a month. It could be any of those things, but also it involves just like looking into your own heart and finding your own darkness, if you will, because we all have a shadow and some of it will never, ever go away because that's the nature of humanity. So remember that evil does have a purpose, and it's not only a contrast, it's to make us think about things and to make us say, well, there's a really high level of evil here. I would consider Trump's to be the epitome of evil, right? And even if it takes the form of just not having concern for others, that is evil. That's what it looks like. It looks like Epstein, right? That's what evil looks like. It also looks like all these people are like, well, Epstein's really rich, so I'm still going to go to his party. Oh, I'm going to make a deal with Epstein, so I'm still going to go there. That's the nature of this. Kind of the meaning of evil is when we just close our eyes to it and we look away. And we all are being forced to look evil directly in the eye and to do something for our own lives so that we are not participating in that. And we also have to, recognize this evil as something that we are not, and we have to try not to be that way. And we also have to have the courage to fight it when we see it. And that's not a simple thing. Universe is being really dramatic with us right now, and we're seeing very dramatic examples of evil so that we can rise up to them. And you'll notice, at a certain point, all the newscasters will be talking, and at some point, people will pop. I'm just thinking of that guy, Lewandowski, who says, oh, boo-hoo, poor kids in a cage. And the guy sitting next to him is a newscaster, and he says, what did you say? And you see him just break through. He just breaks through his usual newscasting, and he just says, as a human, like, how dare you say that? How disgusting are you that you do that? That's like when we really become is these moments when we're just like, I'm not putting up with the status quo here. I'm going to move forward with this, and I don't care if you don't like it. Now, when I say that, these are all words. There's no reason to, harm another physically or even emotionally if you can avoid it. But at the same time, these things need to be addressed. And if you can calmly look at someone and say, that kid at the border could be you. You could have been that unlucky. You could have been the father and daughter swimming across the Rio Grande. That could be you. It's just luck that you were born where you are born. And that's very, very important. I also find these days that it's very important to notice what we do have. So if you want prosperity in your life, and it's totally available to you, although it might take a little bit of time, prosperity is available. It takes some doing, right? And it's a spirit thing. But the first step is just to look at your life and go, this is what I'm lucky for. I'm lucky to have these great relationships. I'm lucky to have the freedom. I, Dave Johnson, am lucky that I'm not being burnt at the stake right now, which would have happened to me 400 years ago. I'm lucky to be able to express my opinion. I don't particularly care for my medical care, but I do have medical care. And, my great-great-grandfather, he would never have been able to get the medicines that I am able to get for my body. Do go through when you're making, kind of requesting something from the universe, requesting more abundance. Make sure that you go back and see where you are, benefiting. There may be places where you are not, but for the moment, take a look at that. That is also an important point as we're moving forward with this question of good and evil, is to look at the good in our own lives and look at the positives in our own lives and say to ourselves, hey, we got this going for us. We're lucky. Maybe we have some ugly issues we got to deal with, but don't forget that the universe has delivered a lot of good to you. I don't care who you are. If anybody loves you, there you go. If anybody loves you, you're better off than Donald Trump, because people fear him, but no one loves him. Right. So remember that is really, really, really key. It just, even if you have a good friend, you have more friends than Donald Trump does. This doesn't make his behaviors acceptable in any way. It actually means that we have to confront him, but that's that. All right. So I think that's all my questions. Everyone, tomorrow I am going to be talking with Violetta. It usually takes a few hours to upload those videos. Also, be aware that theoretically I'm going to Japan on Friday. Problem being that the Hong Kong airport is now closed. And that's where my flight goes through if you're leaving from Australia on Cathay. So I don't know if I'm going on vacation on Friday. I don't know where I'm going to be. If I don't, I'm going to go camping and go meditate out in the woods for a while. So next week, there will not be a live reading. Actually, likely there will not be a live reading for a couple of weeks. I will be doing readings. So I will be out in nature, or theoretically out in Japan, and I will do regular readings and I will post them. I just may not be able to respond if you send any messages, because I don't know where I'm going to be. I might be in the middle of the desert and not have internet access, and might have to upload it all at the same time. So you guys are amazing too. Thanks so much. Let's see. I'm just going to think of one more question. What's the 411 on Weinstein? Okay, that's the first question I saw. So that's the one that I'm going to do. Okay, so yeah, and tell me, did you meet Harvey? So there are two Weinsteins, right? Okay, so yeah, the only thing is that I don't know. Let's see, I don't know which Weinstein you guys mean, because I know there's Harvey. Oh yes, and I will taste lots of water. Thanks, guys. If I go to that desert, yeah. Oh, Epstein. Gosh, everybody's reading on Epstein, so I kind of hesitate to read on him because everybody's already talked about it, and I don't think there's that much mystery there. But you know what? And this might also be a question for Violetta. But you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and ask this. And I'm going to ask, and sorry about Weinstein, I don't really have a good grip on his image. I don't know. There's a couple of them. I know there's Harvey, and then there's the other Weinstein, who's some money thing with. Maybe I'll ask that question tomorrow with Violetta. I don't know the details right now. So let's take a look at Barr. Yeah, now Barr is. Now, if you want to know what evil looks like, that passive evil that just lets it happen, it looks like William Barr, right? It's that sort of evil. Looks like a guy who thinks everybody's lying. It's not a question of right, left. Everybody's lying. So he just doesn't believe in the truth. He doesn't think there is truth. He doesn't believe anybody's honest. So it doesn't bother him that he's being dishonest, because he just thinks that he's doing what everybody really does. It's all about power for him and jockeying for power. So Spirit, is William Barr covering up the Epstein investigation? Yeah, this is a really kind of complex image. Imagine like a web. There's this web, and Barr's trying to walk on the web. He's trying to go from one point to another, but there's empty space. He is treading very, very difficultly. And as he does this, the web kind of sticks to his shoes. So he's trying to move around creepily and quietly, and it's not succeeding because he's not getting very far. So and it's kind of funny because he's in the middle. There's another web above him, and I don't know what that means. So Spirit, can you tell me more? Oh, okay. The web above him, he tries to take a little part of it and stick it in his bag and hide it. So he's on a web, but there's another web of information, and he's trying to select bits of it and take it and hide it in his bag. So I'm getting a yeah. He's totally covering up this investigation. If there's anything we should be protesting, it should be Barr. Barr should be absolutely. He should resign. But I just hope that people will hit the streets with this guy. He is so bad news. There is not gonna be justice while he's there. I get Barr in prison. I've seen Barr in prison before. I think he's gonna get caught. Okay, this is an interesting one. He's in prison, but there's a fireplace. Oh, he's burning papers. So as it closes in, he's destroying evidence. He's literally destroying evidence, like literally burning it. Now, look, if you notice, a while back I was sort of right and wrong about Barr. I think that that's kind of informing me right now. One of the things that I was right about Barr is just that shiftiness. I saw Mueller kind of putting some papers in a drawer secretly. I think that's I think that's the Epstein case. I think that there are inflection points here where stuff is rising to the surface. You'll also notice that several readers said after Mueller's report, something major would show up that would be really devastating. Many people saw that, including me. And about a week or so later, the whole Epstein case came up, right? And now he's suspiciously died. Come on, you guys. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to come to a conclusion about who is responsible for that death. And it all comes back to Trump. I see Trump like managing it, trying to control it. He's his usual angry, blowhard self, looking furious. Yeah. Okay. So, Spirit, anything more about Barr that we can know? I get that there is one of the victims, one of the survivors who is going to finger him. She knows, she's pointing, and she's going to tell the truth, and she's going to come out, and it's going to implicate a lot of people. I get specifically, she will implicate Barr and Trump. Anything else on this Barr? So look, Mueller knows. Mueller knows that Barr did something. Mueller knows that there are some papers that Barr is hiding. He saw him do it. He saw him put it in his jacket, at least symbolically. He saw him put it in his jacket and he hid them. So I get, it might, Mueller might even be symbolic. Somebody knows that he is starting to hide evidence. Somebody knows. And they're going to figure this out. Will there be justice for Barr? True justice. Yeah, Barr's, this is really a cool image, you guys. I'm in a tree. I kind of latch onto a bird. The bird is sort of flying over William Barr, who's running through the forest, and he's running almost like trying to hide, but he's not succeeding. I almost feel like I'm there with the attack bird. You know, it's kind of a great feeling considering William Barr, um, who's just like kind of terrified and running away. I'm sorry, this is very, very aggressive of me, but that's what Spirit shows me. I'm just passenger. That's what he's showing me. And again, I don't see Barr particularly getting harmed. I just see Barr running, and he's running alone and he's running afraid. Ooh, now people are coming out of the woods to run after him. There are lots of people who are coming after him, and Barr is just running and running. I think that the Senate will do something because one of the people that's coming out of the woods is Dianne Feinstein. I can't imagine her jogging through the woods after someone else, but here she is. I can see her doing that. And other Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, others are coming after Barr. And I think that he's going to really be shafted when he has to sit in front of these people and explain how Epstein, passed away into the other side. Okay. All right. Well, I'm kind of creeped out, but I'm getting Epstein now. Okay, Epstein. What? Okay, he's looking neutral, angry but neutral. He's neither happy nor sad. He's just like kind of there, looking pretty dour. Well, what do you want to tell me, Mr. Epstein? Oh, okay. Lots of people are going to go down. That's what I'm getting. He's showing me a circle and a circle. It's almost like a circle of power or powerful people. And the circle kind of sinks and sinks and sinks and sinks. A lot of people are going to get in trouble and they're going to go down. I think Prince Andrew being one of them. Okay, Spirit. Anybody else that we need to know? Dershowitz is going down. Anybody else? Barr. Acosta. And Acosta's will be really important because Acosta isn't a good liar. And he is in a position where he's going to be forced to tell a lot of information about who persuaded him in order to keep himself out of prison, which I'm getting he will go to, but it will be a shorter time. He will go to jail. That's what I see anyway. I see him. Well, this is the thing. I see him in a prison, but the door is opening. So maybe he stays out of prison by telling the truth, or maybe he goes there for a short time and then is let out, or it's not as severe. This is the thing that I find so annoying about our government today is now put that guy in prison for 2 days and he'll sing like a bird, right? But the government, the justice system that we expect is not really doing its job. Like all these guys, you just put any one of those people in prison, they will start singing. We could figure this all out in a week if we wanted to. We could get the details on most of this stuff right away. But the government as a whole, as a body, is covering up. If you want to know what the deep state is, it looks like that. It looks like the present system. And in a sense, there is a deep state. These people were acting before Trump showed up to be president. They were doing these terrible things. Don't suppose that they were Democrats. They were everybody, anybody who was powerful and important, anybody who plays the game like this. All right. I just watched an interview today with a woman who had worked for Trump. She was recruited out of Trump's building, and they tried to get her to have Epstein's baby. It was pretty creepy. And she said, "No, I'm getting her right now." She's pretty angry, and she's pointing to some people. I don't know why I see a five-sided box. What does that mean? 5 sides. What does that mean? Mm. Oh, okay. It's almost like the shape of a house. So she goes into the house, and there are lots of people in that house hiding. And she opens the door and sheds the light on them. Yeah. Like, okay, so everybody, just to finish off here, one thing I would ask all of you to do is just spend a moment, in your heart, bring forward. There are many, many victims of these crimes. And the people who are coming forward, Blasey Ford, all these people are being incredibly courageous. People have told them they don't believe them. They've been threatened. They've gone through the most horrific, hellish experience, which they're now being forced to relive. They're getting death threats, all of these things. Just for their sake, for a moment, bring some love into your heart and send it in a direction to those people, and they will receive it. And just kind of in your heart, let them know how courageous you think that they're being, and that you will, basically protect them. That you will keep your eye on this and keep your government honest. I'm just sending that information to them myself, right? Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. I will be with Violetta tomorrow, so maybe in a day and a half you'll see this video from us, and I will ask your Weinstein question. Is Ghislaine Maxwell dead? That's a good one too. All right, Weinstein. Right. Let's just note for tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much for watching, and I will perhaps see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys. Good night, guys.